when you actually got that letter, what was the first thing? When I wrote you that letter, you read it? Like, actually, first of all, how did you get the letter? And like, what were your first thoughts when you read my letter about being in Legacy?
I must say this, right? It's quite typical for my agent to have films from, you know, sort of lesser known directors send in scripts and proposals and offers that they can't back. You know, so oftentimes, you know, my agent filters that system and is like, for some reason he really, because I think you kept sending, I think you sent more than once or twice to Roger.
Oh, it was Roger. Right.
Ken McCready.
Right.
So Ken McCready called me and said, you know, hey, this guy called Thomas Ikimi. As soon as I heard your name, I was like, Ikimi? I thought he was either Japanese or African.
Right.
I was like, and that interested me immediately. But he's like, he's really, I want to just read his email address. Just read his email and then you can decide whether you want to read the scripts or not. I read this email. And I was like, wow. I'll give it a shot. I wanted to read it. And I read it. And I was like, wow. I couldn't take my eyes off Malcolm.
Right. Because I gave it to you for the Darnell in the beginning. But did you read it as if, in the first place, like, I'm reading for Darnell when you first read it? Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, Darnell was good, but I was like, Malcolm is the shit. That's the character. That is the character that, you know, was all over the place in terms of just his... I was like, whoever plays that has got a gift. Yeah, I have to say, man, I think that Malcolm was so well written that it allowed me to throw the scripts out. I was so developed in that character that it allowed me to just speak with his voice and just like being possessed almost.
I like the fact that I go on Twitter now, Malcolm Gray's become a thing. People quote his lines, he's like a thing in and of himself. And that's cool because I feel like when the movie finally comes out, Malcolm Gray will become his own thing. You know, pretty much like how you quote other characters. Malcolm, because he has so many idiosyncrasies of how he behaves, how he talks. You know, there's been obviously the comparisons between Travis Bickle and Malcolm Gray, which are obvious, because I mean, to be honest, there was a lot of inspiration for me from Taxi Driver in the movie, yeah. I met De Niro, obviously, like, face to face, and I said, you know that Travis Bickle was a big inspiration for aspects of Malcolm Gray. Those are the things that I take most from this experience. I met De Niro and I was able to talk to him, and he talked to me, and like I said, listen, it inspired me for aspects of the movie. I met James Earl Jones in Glasgow and I was able to do my Darth Vader voice for him in front of everybody with my microphone. That's like a moment. I was able to do all that, and I'm not doing it right now. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. There's a scene in Apocalypse Now where Martin Sheen is in his room going crazy. And you see the beginning of it, and then you see the end of it where the people come to his room and give him the job. But you don't really see the full scope of what happened in the room. Yeah. Now, the way that most people describe this film is that it's like you made an entire movie about whatever the hell happened in the room with Martin Sheen's character.
So what's the future? How does it feel? You know, you've got representation. I mean, dude, you must wake up in the morning and go, wow.
Yeah, well, you know, like I told people, I'm like, well, 2 years ago, like, I mean, I'm kind of still broke, but, you know, you're in a situation where I was working for Apple, writing the script for Legacy, I was doing...
You're a genius, bro?
No, I wasn't even a genius. I wasn't even a genius, man. I was like just a regular sales rep, yeah. I was there, and I was writing Legacy in the evenings, and working day shifts at the Apple store. And, you know, then I was going to make Legacy for like 20 grand with some friends in New York or LA. To think that movie that I was writing on my nights off work would end up here is crazy. That's the reason why anything people say, I'm like, look, this has already been so far beyond what I could have possibly expected. Nothing disappoints me anymore. No rejections disappoint me anymore. I'm not looking at like how big the box office is going to be when it comes out in the theaters. Like, just imagine sitting around like, you know, you're desperate, you don't have any money, your job is tough to find, writing a script and then it ends up here. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
That must be very satisfying.
How about you though? What's your
me, I think I'm gonna go back and do some more Luther. Which seems a little bit of a lateral move, because I've done it already. But I think with Luther, it's designed for me to sort of create my wealth as a producer as well.
Right.
You know, having the fortunate experience of working with you as an executive on Legacy has gotten me, you know, to produce my own television show,
right,
which is great. And so now that I'm a part of that, I'm sort of like, you know, committed to doing some more. I mean, you know, listen, nothing satisfies me more than making a film like Legacy, man. Nothing, you know, because we didn't do it for money. It's just so, and I've said it in the press plenty of times while I was on promotion for Takers, that this is definitely one of my best performances personally. Who says that? But you know, I
think a lot of people who've seen it feel that way as well. It's such a departure that I feel any fan, if you're a fan of Idris Elba, you've got to see Legacy, because I think it's like it's so far removed from anything that anybody would expect. I don't think anybody's going to go in there and see what they think it's going to be.
Tom Ikimi,
Idris Elba, Legacy, October. Thank you. Thank you to the Tribeca Film Festival. Everything changed after that, you know, so I got to thank everybody at the Tribeca Film Festival for all their support. It's much appreciated, believe me.